Hi everyone, welcome back. This is a slightly different setup, as you can see, because this video is actually just going to be a really chilled one. I just wanted to come and chat to you guys about a few things that have been going on in my life, and that I just wanted to share with you, I think, and also do the Q&A questions, because I have had some questions come through, which I was actually really surprised about, because when I put it out there for you guys to ask me some questions, I was like, oh gosh, why did I do that? Because no one's going to ask me any questions. I'm gonna have to make them up and pretend they've been sent in. But no, I did get a few, so I'm really looking forward to answering those questions for you guys. But I kind of feel like I want to share a bit of background about what's been going on with me in the past year or so. That might then answer some other questions you guys have, or it might create more questions for you guys to ask me. But I think it's just really helpful for you to get to know me a little bit more, and I've wanted to share a few things with you in order to sort of let you know where my head is at in terms of this channel and its direction and all that kind of thing. So it's going to be a pretty raw video, because I haven't pre-thought what I'm going to say. I've just wanted to share with you guys for such a long time, so it's going to be a little bit raw and a little bit sort of unedited, if you like, but I think that's a really nice way for us just to kind of have a chat. So I think I'll do the Q&A questions at the end, because I will do a whole life update first and then answer those questions. So I guess the first major thing I'm going to say is I will be changing the direction of the channel a little bit, and that's basically a decision that I've come to over the past year or so. Nothing scary, don't be don't be afraid. It's nothing terrifying. It's probably, you've probably seen the direction it's going in, you know, over the last couple of videos. In fact, I've got a little row here set up filming a 10 by 10 a little bit later when the sun, because the sun has been coming in and out all day, totally messing up my filming. So I'm going to be filming a 10 by 10 after I've done this video. But the direction of the channel, I am thinking very much in going along a more sustainable route in terms of the channel. And I say that in terms of like not totally changing everything and being like only shopping sustainable clothes and stuff like that, but really starting off with a shopping ban to start with. So I won't be buying anything new, and I haven't actually bought anything new for a little while, but I won't be buying anything new for at least 6 months. And this has come about because I felt like the way I shop is unsustainable. I feel like the way we collectively shop these days, and just the way life is going, with social media being a huge driver in people's decision making and stuff, is just unsustainable, and I think it's almost unhealthy. I feel like I have had an unhealthy relationship with shopping, to a point where it was just becoming compulsive as opposed to actually mindful and thought out, and that's something I really want to change. And my life has changed. Like, I'm now a mum. I have, which doesn't mean you can't shop as a mum, but what I'm trying to say is that I'm a stay-at-home mum now, so I don't even go out to work, to like an office, so I don't have a need for the kind of things that I'm constantly buying. Like, I saw this dress at COS, you know how much I love COS, and it was £135 and it's silk, and I had to resist. Like, every part of my being had to be like, don't buy this, because it's just not practical for me right now. Like, when am I going to wear this? The weather is not even super summery now, so it would just be hanging in my wardrobe. Like, about a quarter of the stuff in my wardrobe still has labels on it. It's silk, so it's really impractical with a baby in tow. So, you know, it's things like that where I've had to really try and say to myself no, whereas in the past I'd have just bought them. And I think that's kind of linked on to YouTube and what I share with you guys on YouTube. Like, I don't want to be part of a catalyst for people to spend money that they don't have. I don't know your guys' circumstances, everyone who watches me, I don't know what your circumstances are, but I don't want to play a single part in encouraging or influencing people to buy things that they can't afford, because I have been influenced myself. And I think it all came to a head, I suppose, when this new law came out for influencers in the UK to have to disclose things that are gifted or things that are they bought themselves. And this all started to come to a head in my head when that happened, because I was scrolling through my Instagram and I was shocked by the amount of products that people don't buy themselves. And I just thought to myself, this is super crazy how life has become, where we sit down and we spend hours absorbing, you know, what people are wearing, where people are going on Instagram, on YouTube. Like, it's just soaked in, and a lot of that stuff they don't even pay for, but then we go into our own purses, our own bank accounts, our credit cards, however we try to facilitate it, and we spend our own money to get those same things that those people are getting for free. And I felt embarrassed that at 32 years old, that only hit me like about 3 months ago, you know, because I was being influenced heavily by other influencers too. And so to start with, I totally purged my Instagram. Like, I stopped following a lot of people, not because they were gifted stuff, but because I didn't have the self-control, don't have the self-control. Like, I know myself, and I get very, very inspired and influenced by people, and I see something and I'm like, cool, where's that from? I click on that and it ends up being a purchase. It doesn't end up just being a nice appreciation of an item, it ends up being in my home. And once it gets through the door, once I've signed the package for the package, it's very, very rare that thing gets sent back. And so it ends up being a new item that I don't need, that I have. And I think that is something I totally want to change. It's a cycle I think is unhealthy, and I want to change that. So that is one of the reasons why I am changing the way I shop. And to start with, I think I need to go cold turkey and just have a shopping ban, because I have so many clothes. I have good quality clothes, I have clothes that I really like, and I need to start wearing them, basically, is the gist of that. Now that I'm not working, I don't have a huge disposable income anymore, so I need to start living within my means before it gets troublesome. And I think we should be open here. I think a lot of people don't talk about money, and I think we should. I think that it can become really dangerous very quickly, the way I look at clothes and fashion, and I could end up getting in huge amounts of debt. Like, I was in a lot of debt when I left uni through spending way above my means, and I've paid that all off now, and I'm in a much better position than I was, and I don't want to start getting sucked back into that. Also, I have a little one to think of now, and my life has totally changed. It can't just be all about me and what I'm wearing, and I kind of feel like life is more than that. Yeah, you know, YouTube for me is a hobby. It's not something that I'm hoping to shill a lot of money from, and so I don't really believe in doing all these massive hauls constantly and sending all of it back just to get affiliate money, just to influence people to buy stuff, you know, under the guise of, oh, I'm showing you guys what's in store. Like, you guys can look online, you can go into stores. I don't think you need me to make a haul of hundreds of pounds to show you items for me just to send them back, but for me then to get affiliate money from any of you guys who buy stuff from that haul. I don't think it's fair. I don't think it's ethical, really. So I am not going to be doing that. So unfortunately, if you're only on my channel for hauls, you're going to be disappointed, and it's totally cool if you don't want to stick around. I get that. It's just, I feel like my life is moving on, and I think that my content should reflect that. That was a little ramble as to why I am starting a shopping ban, and I'm not going to be buying any new clothes, and that will then influence the direction of the channel, because I'll be doing a lot more like shopping the wardrobe stuff, styling pieces, lookbooks, all that kind of thing, using what I have. So that's not to say I'm never going to buy anything new. What I've done instead is create a little board on Pinterest of things I would like, and they all tend to be really expensive actually. They're all quite pricey, but it's a little Pinterest board that I've created for myself. So if something pops in my head, I'll put it on that board and I'll revisit that board, and going you know, over the next couple of months, there's probably things on there that actually will be deleted because it was just a fleeting phase. And if there's things on there that I still really would like, then it's about sitting down, talking with Nicholas, you know, how will I afford to get those things? Can we afford to get those things? And then buying mindfully, one purchase at a time. So that's kind of a little explanation as to where that's going, and the channel, where that will be going in terms of its direction. So much more focused on sustainability, shopping what we have, really making the most out of what we've got in our own wardrobes, before going out and doing lots of fast fashion hauls, because I'm kind of just not into that anymore. Excuse me, 2 secs. I guess another reason then why I started really evaluating everything that's important in my life is something I've not shared with anybody on social media before, but I just wanted to talk to you guys about, because I think it's all going to make sense to you as to why I'm in a total headspace of change, and just really thinking about what's important in life. Is last year when I was 6 months pregnant, Nicholas, my husband, was diagnosed with stage 3 cancer. And it has been the toughest year of my life. Like, when I say that, I genuinely mean that. And the reason why I was thinking about change and thinking about this whole social media bubble is just a bubble, is that during this time, like, he was diagnosed when I was 6 months pregnant. He had major surgery when I was about 7 months pregnant. I gave birth. We had a newborn around our house during the time he was going through chemo for 6 months. Like, we had a newborn baby. It was insane. It was a lot of stress. It was extremely tiring. It was an emotional time. And during that time, I was still posting on Instagram, like, outfits of the day, things being all good, posting videos. And I just thought to myself, but this is not my life. Like, that is a fake life. Like, my life right now is nappies, baby sick, sleeplessness, and cancer. Like, that is what my life is right now. And the fake life was portraying new stuff, new clothes, all good, loving the summer. So I was just like, this is so unreal, it's exhausting, it's not true, and I don't want to be part of that anymore. It's just, to me, I'm just over it. It's been a really tough year, and it's just really made me evaluate what's important in life and what's not important in life. And I'm not saying that YouTube isn't important. Like, I love this as a hobby, but to me, I want to spend a lot more of my time focusing on business that I am working on that will hopefully sustain me in the future, so I can be full-time self-employed in that business sphere that's not YouTube. Like, I don't make hardly any money from YouTube. I do this because I really enjoy it. You know, I will openly share with you, I make about £60 every 2 months from AdSense revenue, and barely anything from affiliate revenue. So for me, it's not about trying to post videos that will entice people to buy stuff so I can get lots of affiliate money by posting lots of hauls. It's not about me doing things in order for YouTube to sustain me. This is just a hobby. Like, I have got things on the side that I'm working on that will hopefully become my job and, you know, secure a future for me and my family going forward. So that is my main focus, and I think my whole priorities have totally changed over this past year because of what Nicholas and we have been going through. It was really tough, and we've had a bit of a setback in terms of his health. We've found out the last couple of days that it's returned, so you'll probably need to bear with me in terms of consistency, because over the next couple of months or a few months, I'm going to be back on that looking after my 2 boys kind of you know, front. I guess I kind of need my energy to focus on my business and focus on getting that fledgling business you know, off the ground, and also looking after Nicholas and looking after my 10-month-old. So I've got a lot going on in the background that, you know, I don't necessarily share, and I kind of think that I'd like to share a bit more and kind of take you along my actual life, as opposed to, you know, the pretense that a lot of social media is. And I'm not trying to sit here and bash anybody else, any other channels, anyone that does anything differently. It's just, for me, my life has totally changed in the last year. Like, it's unrecognizable to where it was 2 years ago. You know, I'm no longer working, I have a baby, I have a husband who's not well, you know, things have changed. And so yeah, I just want to be a little bit more real, really, in my life. And you know, it's just made me think that all of this hauling and follow accounts and subscribe accounts and stuff is just so unimportant. Like, it's really made me realize how short our lives are, how much as a young 30 something I can think that I'm invincible and I'll be around here forever and I can do things over the course of the next 40 years or so. I've got all that time. This has made me realize I don't, and none of us have as much time as we think we do. So we need to kind of, you know, really make the most of every day and actually make, for me, it's about making memories with my family. It's about investing in my family's future. It's about looking after them, spending time with them, you know, and none of those things involve, you know, fast fashion hauls, follow accounts, any of that stuff. Like, to me, that's like the most unimportant thing ever. So yeah, that is basically a life update as to what's been going on with me. So I think I'm going to answer some Q&A questions, because I think some of those will then also answer a few more questions you guys might have. I've got pins and needles in this foot because I've had it up the whole time, so I'm just going to cross this leg instead, and yeah, we can crack on with some Q&A questions. Okay, so the first question is from a lovely subscriber called Elle, and she asks, do I find it hard to connect with like-minded people when it comes to fashion and style? As a girl with a minimal style outside of London, we're a bit of a rare breed, it seems. Thank you for your question, Elle, and absolutely, I do find it quite hard to find people with a like-minded fashion sense, particularly now because I have moved out of London. You know, I think in London I felt very much like I blended in, like loads of people are super cool. I wasn't anything special. You know, nothing that I wore was really out there or different. But now I'm living in the suburbs. I'm in Hertfordshire now, and I feel that, yeah, sometimes my style can come across as a little bit overdressed for the place that I live, or now that my life is mum and baby groups and taking our baby to, you know, soft play and stuff like that, and, you know, coffees with other mums, I can be a little bit overdressed, I suppose, because, you know, the most casual I do is a pair of chinos or jeans. I don't tend to do like leggings or jogging bottoms or sportswear. So yeah, I can feel a little bit out of place and find it hard to find people that are like-minded fashion-wise with me, but I really don't mind. I think that is why YouTube is so great, because I get to share all that stuff with you guys, and I love the excitement that you have when I show you things or when I style something up. And yeah, I think you guys are my outlet for that, because yeah, you're right, I don't have many people who are like-minded in my fashion sense. Like, me and my sister are total opposites when it comes to that. So again, yeah, it's you guys that are my refuge when it comes to fashion and style. Though Nicholas gets it a little bit, and I think it's because, you know, he is Danish, so that whole Scandinavian vibe thing he gets, which is super cool. So do his sisters, which is really nice, and his mum. So, you know, I've got a few people that get it, but generally, you know, it's you guys. We share the love when it comes to fashion and stuff. I have a question from Black Outen, and she's asked me a few questions. So she's 33 and lives in Sweden, so hi. Where in the UK do I live? I live in Hertfordshire, and I won't tell you the specific town, but I live in Hertfordshire, and it's about 20 minutes away from London, so super not far at all, but still really, really lovely to be out of the big city, have some greenery, have some space, really nice to bring up families. So yeah, in Hertfordshire. What do I do for a living? So I used to work in fashion buying a couple of jobs ago. My main career was fashion buying, so I bought kids wear, denim, casual trousers and outerwear. That's where my main focus and expertise has been over the years. But I quit working in fashion buying after about 6-7 years, just because I got to a point where I found the environment in head offices extremely toxic. Not all fashion head offices are like this, so let me just add that as a disclaimer. But the fashion industry can be super tough to, one, get into, and two, stay in, particularly when you are lower down and you're just starting out. So I got to sort of mid-level buyer before I was just like, I can't do this anymore. The offices can be really quite toxic, management, some quite bitchy environments, you're overworked, you're underpaid. It's just super stressful. It got to a point where I was just so stressed, my mental health was all over the place, and I was crying on Oxford Street one day when I called my mum, and I was just like, I can't do this, and she was just like, please leave. And I'm not someone who quits things. Like, I'm a Virgo, I'm very much a focused person who, you know, I'm just kind of intense, I guess, and I'm not someone who just quits things. But I had to think about this, and I was just like, this is killing me. My relationship's going to pot because Nicholas was just having to deal with a really miserable fiance girlfriend at the time. You know, it was just ruining things at home. I was hating going into work. I was crying on the bus into work, and I just thought, I need to leave. So I did, and I spent 9 months out of work, just at home, sort of recuperating from, you know, I was down here, and just recuperating, getting my strength back, and kind of evaluating life. And then I ended up going down the route of being a paralegal for a couple of years in a law firm in the city, and then I've just recently left that job now and decided to work be a stay-at-home mum with our baby. So I'm going to spend the second year with him at home, and also work on my fledgling business. So I am a proud owner of a limited company which I'm working on launching some point over this course of this year. So I would say currently I am a stay-at-home mum and an entrepreneur, which is kind of cool. How old am I? I am 32. I am 33 years old in September. What made you become a YouTuber? Oh yeah, so as I mentioned previously, I left my job in fashion buying and then had those 9 months out. So that's when I started to do YouTube, because as I said, I am somebody who I need to be doing something. I need to keep my brain ticking. I'm not very good at just sitting at home doing nothing. So that's when I decided, actually, I've always wanted to try YouTube. Let me start a channel. Let's see where this can go, because I don't want to spend 9 months just sitting here doing nothing. And also then I was able to learn some new skills like photo or video editing, you know, using a camera, kind of all this setup stuff. And you've got the whole kind of SEO side to it. So I was learning a few skills whilst at home. And also just keeping myself a bit busy, because I think 9 months just sitting doing nothing was a bit too much for me. So that's why I started YouTube. And I think I've actually got a video, I'll link it up somewhere for you to see, as to how to get started on YouTube. It was one of the videos I filmed when I was on leave at that time. How to get started and what you need and why I got started. So yeah, that's why. So I've got a question from Duda Jardine. It's a personal styling question. Are you planning to do a personal consulting styling business? You'd be brilliant in that capacity. Thank you. Thank you very much. That's really nice of you. So one of the two businesses ideas I had was a personal styling business. And it's not something I'm ruling out in the future. I just think right now it's not what I want to do in the immediate term, and I have an idea for it that will take a bit more research and qualifications and stuff like this. So it's not just, you know, your bog standard personal styling business. I've got a good idea for that for the future. So it's something that's kind of been held in my future plans kind of place. But my new business, which I will share with you guys on YouTube when it's ready to launch, is probably something that I'm much more comfortable with doing, because it's much more in line with my old career in fashion buying, and so it's much more something I'm much more comfortable in, and I can kind of hit the ground running quite quickly. Whereas with the styling business, it's something that I'll need to go back and retrain and really kind of spend a lot of time working on. And I kind of want to create something sort of now that I think is really relevant now, that will take off, I think, if I do it right, and that I want to see if it can sort of sustain me and be my job. So personal styling is something that I'm thinking about. It's being held on into the future. You know, people change their careers apparently like 7 times or something over the course of their lives. It's not like in the olden days where you had like one job for life. So it doesn't worry me that I haven't done that yet, because I'm still only 33, and although I said, you know, we don't have all the time in the world, which we don't, and none of us know how long we've got, it's something that I'm hoping to do a little bit further down in the future. Okay, and then the last question is from She's a Blessing. She'd like me to do a video on my career or how I got to where I'm at now. So I mean, I don't think it's really worthy of a whole video, so I would definitely thank you for the question, but I mean, I think I've addressed sort of my career. I mean, I started at uni studying. I studied at uni economics and politics, and I thought I was going to be an investment banker. That's where I was looking to go, but I changed my mind because I graduated when the financial crash happened around 2009, 2010, and I just had to reevaluate things. And I'd heard that the environment is kind of like you need to be able to sell your own mother to work in that environment, and I can't do that. So I was a little bit reluctant to go into that, basically. So I changed tack, and that's when I had a couple of odd jobs. Like I worked in my local council as a receptionist, and then I worked as a merchandise assistant in head office at Miss Selfridge. Before then I veered on to buying and started off as a buying assistant. So that's how I got into fashion buying, and then moved on into assistant buyer, etc. Through different, you know, big head offices in the British High Street. So that's kind of where I got to where I got, and then moved into the city in a law firm, but then realised actually I really miss creativity, and that's where, and autonomy, and I think that's where the business that I'm creating now really marries those two together. And I think I'm really very self-motivated, so I think I'll work for myself very, very well. I hope this video has been something that you've enjoyed, just something a little bit more relaxed, where we can just have a little bit more of a chat about what's going on in my life, kind of like where I've got to where I'm at now, and the stage that I'm at now in my life. If you enjoy these kind of more chatty videos, do let me know, because they're super fun to do, and I like just having a chat with you guys and telling you what's going on. If there's anything you want to know about anything I've shared on this video or anything I've not shared on this video, do leave all your comments and questions down below. I will definitely get back to you. Totally losing my voice now. I'll get back to you, but I've just really enjoyed getting this weight off my shoulders and sharing with you guys exactly where I'm at in my current life at the moment. You know, it's not easy. We're going through another X amount of months of chemo coming up very, very soon after our holidays, so there's a lot of tough times ahead for us as a family, but you know, we'll get through it. We'll still keep pushing on. I think fortunately we've got our little baby who kind of, doesn't know what's going on. He doesn't really let you have time to wallow so much in your feelings, because you know, he needs looking after. And also too, I would say, if you're going through anything like I'm going through, I spent the first time that Nicholas went through all his treatment and stuff being uber tough and being very me. I don't need any help, I'm cool, we can deal with this, I'm fine. This time when we got the new update, I immediately called a counselling service, because I think mental health is super important to look after, particularly as a new mum. You know, postnatal depression doesn't just happen once the baby's born, it can happen during the time afterwards. So I'm very conscious that I don't want to just neglect my own well-being, and I need to talk to somebody about how I'm feeling and about, you know, the future, because it's very terrifying, the thought that, you know, I might be with our baby alone in the future, and there's all these scary things that are going around in my head that I just need to talk through with somebody that's, you know, removed from the situation. So I'm going to be seeing a counsellor. So don't be afraid if you're going through anything like what I'm going through, or anything that's, you know, causing you mental health stress, to seek some help, because there's lots of people and services out there that want to help and can help you. So definitely take that away from this video. If you don't take anything away from this video, do not be afraid to ask for help, because you know, life is bloody tough. It is hard, you know, there's some ups and there are some serious lows, and right now I'm going through the lows, and you know, I just need a bit of help to get through that. So that's it, man. I'm gonna stop rambling. I'm gonna just sign off here. Hope that the in out sun situation sorts itself out so I can film my 10 by 10 holiday video for you guys and get that up before we go on holiday. Nicholas has popped out with the baby, so I'm going to take this quiet time, the opportunity to go make myself a nice little coffee and put my feet up. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. If there's any other questions, do leave them down below, and I will catch up with you very soon, hopefully in my 10 by 10 video in a couple of days time. So take care, speak to you soon, bye.